Hey, I just noticed mine looks like a big red clown nose. Is that on purpose? Is that a commentary?
I actually had never noticed that before, but now I'm always going to notice it. Yeah. Now I'm going to visualize everybody with a clown nose. In fact, oh my gosh, in your podcast image, I should give you a red clown nose.
I'm okay with that. I feel like this is just this is probably more my better costume than the one I provided in my photo.
We are elated.
Good word.
Thank you. Because our next guest is somebody that we've been wanting to have on for a while now. He made his debut on our live episode at Norberto's.
He did.
And now we are having a full episode with him. Rustan, thank you for being here.
It's my pleasure.
Oh, that's nice.
I've been a longtime fan.
Aww.
You know what's funny?
Long-time listener.
You know what's really funny is, so I'm on this like really long water fast right now, and I kept all day. I'm like, oh man, do you think he's gonna bring bread today? I'm like, no, I hope he doesn't bring bread. Don't bring bread. I'm like, because I'm like, I don't need the, I don't need the I don't have the willpower.
Today's Monday.
For it.
It's not a bread day.
It's not.
It's not a bread day.
What is a bread day?
Well, for you, it's Wednesday.
I'm a Wednesday.
Yeah. I mean, you did make a request. Is that
I did.
Is that request rescinded now? Because I don't want to.
No, I'm fasting until Wednesday.
Oh,
so that's
perfect.
like, oh my gosh.
Nothing breaks a water fast better than a
Bread.
big, heavy piece of bread.
I'll have some lettuce before it. I'll break fast with some lettuce.
So for those of you listeners that don't know, Rustan is our local bread maker?
Bread man.
Bread man? What do we call you?
I feel I like bread dealer.
Ooh, bread dealer. That's good.
I feel like if you're going to be a bread dealer, we need to have some more like shady like handoffs.
Your handoff isn't shady enough already. You want a more shady handoff?
You come to the door and ring my doorbell. That's not shady. You need to be like, I'm outside. And then, you got to walk out, to the curb, and then you hand it off, and then you hand them money. And
I mean, you could like do something with your van. Like maybe tent out the windows really dark.
Ooh.
And then you pull up and you're like, I'm here. And then they have to come out and like, you like open the door just a little bit and like a hand comes out. So it's more like a drug deal.
I don't know what kind of dealers
do
guys
you know
have,
all
but
about this? I mean,
I know. I felt like it could work.
Yeah.
This is Palmas, guys. Here we have concierge service
True.
for a lot of great things.
True.
And I think bread being
Deserves
delivered
it.
to your door. I mean,
Anyway.
so I was reading. I came early, and I was too early, right? So
Well, that's what you told us. You said you had to sit in your car
I sat in my
down the street.
I sat in my car, but
yeah.
I made use of the time. You know what I did?
What?
I looked up things you definitely should not do on a podcast.
Oh.
And the list is not really as exciting as I'd hoped.
Oh.
Because I saw a lot of things to do, especially as a guest, like what you're supposed to prepare.
Oh.
But then the only thing they said was like horrible profanity. I was like,
Oh, but we curse on
for
this show all the
fuck's
time.
too fucking bad, right? Because
Right.
that's just not gonna.
Yeah. I was waiting for you to say that. You're like, I was looking at this list of things you don't do on podcasts, and I noticed that you guys are doing a lot of them.
Don't say
Well,
the word
I'm not
fuck.
here to school you. That's for other people.
Yeah.
Yeah, what are you going to do?
Yeah. Well, we do our best.
Well,
So what else did you learn?
I learned. One of the things you're supposed to do is prepare 5 off-the-cuff stories that you can tell
okay.
to fill dead air.
Did you prepare 5 off-the-cuff stories?
I won't say that I prepared them so much as I remembered them.
Okay. So you thought about it.
Oh, yeah. Well, he had 20 minutes.
Yeah.
I joked about this when he walked in, because he came in right at 7:00, right on the dot, and I'm like, oh wow, you're right on the dot, and he's like, yeah, oh yeah, I don't even know what you said. It was blah.
Like I said, where's the bathroom?
yeah.
Yeah.
And then I'm like, you know what would have been awesome is if you would have said to me,
I've been waiting
that
outside.
I got here 20 minutes early and I've been just waiting in your garage to walk in, and that would have been awesome. And then he said that he was actually early and he was waiting in his car is somewhere else in Palmas.
I'm always making use of time. If I wasn't looking up what I was looking up, I'd be going through your trash can. I'd be like checking out what's in your car windows.
Good thing I don't have a car.
Just so you know, if
Be
you
like-
invite me over,
That would have been funny. I would be like, I don't have
I'm
a
gonna
car,
be-
Rustan. That's my neighbor's car. Don't do
no,
that.
it would have been mine.
Okay, yeah, it
'Cause
would have
I
been.
drove the
Yeah,
car.
Aaron's.
Mhm.
She
I-
might have some goods in there.
I didn't look in Aaron's car. I should have.
Yeah, you could have maybe got Joel's glasses, his sunglasses. That's about it. I don't know.
I'm looking for things to
Some-
steal. I'm looking for information, Aaron.
Oh, well, there's not really much
Like-
information.
like-
There's a lot of grocery bags.
Like what kind of information?
Stuff to talk about on your podcast.
Oh wow!
I know you're here. Yeah, I know. You think this is you interviewing me, but I've come ready to interview you.
Oh,
I
we've
love
had
that.
we've
I-
had the tables turned on us many times.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, yeah. It's most of the time has worked out just fine. One time it was questionable.
airing?
It wasn't. It was not. It was. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's fine.
Did it get edited out? Is that in the like secret unrated
in the
version?
trash.
That I haven't.
It's in the trash.
Oh no.
Yeah.
Okay.
Some of it stayed in though.
That's
Some
why
of
I
it
like to
wasn't
go
too
through
bad.
trash.
Were we talking about the same episode that hasn't even launched yet? Yeah. Haha. So, hi.
Hello.
So, do you have any fun things that you thought about that
Yeah,
you
what
wanted
was
to
the
ask
first
us?
story?
Yeah.
No, what was the first story you thought of?
So weirdly, the first story I thought of was icky bugs, like bugs. That and the first question I had for you. Well, okay, so immediately I had a scary bug story, but then I thought, is it just me? Like, because I have a certain like aversion to a certain bug, and like most people have like a certain bug that just grosses them out. What's yours?
You just had that exoskeleton that's like really, and then when you step on them, and then they like all the
Ooze.
goos out. Like
So
it's
like cockroaches maybe, and like, I don't know what other bugs have that kind of goo. Cockroaches, the only
There-
ones I
there-
I mean,
step
I
on.
have a
think that there's
cockroach story
think
for
there's-
you.
I think
Oh.
that there's a lot of bugs that have like exoskeletons that are like really creepy.
Remember when we were here and that there was that cockroach that was like on the stairs, and you like tried to pick it up and then like it fell, or I don't know. It
I
was,
always
like,
grab it
half
by
alive.
its little what is that
Antenna?
antenna,
Yeah.
and then I boop, throw it because
Well,
Sean
normally they're dead, and this one was alive.
Yeah, well,
So you were
that's
freaking
right,
out
and it was a
because-
surprise because it was on its back.
Yeah.
and what happens is they go on their backs, and then
Before they
end,
die.
and then they end up dying because they can't flip over.
Right.
And this one, once it flipped back over, was very much alive. And then I'm
You
pretty
freaked
sure
out, and you were like screaming as you ran to the bathroom. with it.
I did. But you know what? It's not as bad as Sean because that time. Did I ever tell you the story, Rustan?
I don't know.
Okay,
You
so
haven't-
here's what happened. So Sean, I think, was like on his computer late. I went to bed early. He woke me up the next morning, and he's just kind of hovering over me, and he looks really serious. And so as I'm kind of waking up, he was just like, "Something happened. I'm gonna need you to take care of something." And I'm like, "Oh shit! Like, what's wrong?" You know, I'm like, "What happened?" And he's like, "There are 2 cockroaches in the bathroom upstairs, and I'm gonna need you to kill them." And I'm like, "Okay." He's like, "Yeah. So last night I went to the bathroom and I just left the lights off and I saw a cockroach, and I was doing number 2, and I'm like trying to like wipe and stuff, and then I went into the drawer to grab some more toilet paper, and another cockroach fell from the drawer." And he's like, "I freaked out. I left the bathroom. I closed the door. I put towels in front of the door, and I figured then you would just kind of, take care of that for me." And I'm like, "Sean, did you flush the toilet?" And he was like, "Yeah, I'm pretty sure I did." I'm like, "Okay." So then I go upstairs, groggy-eyed, and I open up the door. He did not flush the toilet. He did not flush the toilet. He didn't flush the toilet. And there was 2 now dead cockroaches there, so I just picked them up and threw them into the toilet. Well, I flushed the toilet first.
Wait, why were they dead though?
I don't know. They were just dead.
Did the smell kill the cockroaches?
Maybe.
Maybe.
my.
As the smell dissipated, they
Right,
just
they-
died.
Maybe it just knocked them out enough for you to flush them.
I don't know. But I picked him up, threw him in the toilet, and flushed it. And then I'm like, I told him he lost his man card for the day.
Oh, that's a good story. That's
He doesn't kill anything. He doesn't kill any bugs, anything. I'm the one who kills the bugs. And he called me today because he was driving, and he was like, I freaked out. There was a spider in the car, and I'm like, well, did you kill it? Well, of course I killed it. Why do you think I wouldn't kill it? And I'm like, because I'm the designated spider, bug, anything killer in the house. Like I have to do all of that because he doesn't want to.
I think in any household there's like a de facto like bug killer, and then if that person's gone, there's like a hierarchy, right?
You know, it's like anything else though, right? Like if somebody is scared, then I usually have like,
Yeah.
you know, I'm the fearless one. But if somebody's fearless, then I'm the one that's like, you know. And so maybe that is kind of like with bugs. If he would be the one that would just kill all the bugs, maybe I would freak out more. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, it's. What about you, Aaron? In your household, who's the bug killer?
I feel like we both kill them.
Interesting.
But I'm trying to, like, we had like little gecko lizards that got in, and Joel definitely had to take care of those. But
I can't kill those. They're
well,
too
no,
cute.
we didn't kill him. He like put a cup over him and then like slid a paper and then took him outside.
Yeah.
The old paper and cup
I do
trick.
that too.
Yeah.
Yeah, the paper and cup thing
Yeah.
because I don't want to kill them either.
Those
I
are
want
good for spiders too.
I want to let them out go. Well, I
I
learned.
kill the spiders and the bugs.
I was bad with the cup for a while. I kept on. I decapitated a couple because they're fast, and I was trying to. I'm trying to save you, and then I killed them on accident. But I've gotten really good at it now. So now I'm good with the cup, paper. Get them outside.
And a bag of flour.
Bag of flour.
I don't want to.
What does that do?
Okay, so so everybody has their thing. Like Erin hates frogs, like shit and toads and that kind of stuff. They just freak her out. She doesn't like them, right? Well,
And also
snakes. And snakes.
Wait, so Becky's snakes and Aaron's toads, or
I'm both. It's
snakes and toads. Okay.
toads.
I am snakes. Just snakes. I think that they're so creepy. The slithering thing and just how fast they move. Like it freaks me out. And so we had a really heavy.
Becky, you just gave me a great idea. Well, it's not a great idea. It
Oh,
just
no.
totally like made my day just now.
We'll
talk about it later.
Do you want to remain friends or? So there was this really heavy rainstorm, and ended up waking up in the morning, and I came downstairs, and in the corner in my living room there was this little tiny. It was tiny, like it was maybe a foot and a half, 2 feet long, small, black, thin.
That does not sound
like
tiny to me.
Like the size of like your fingers. Like it wasn't thick, and it was just hanging out on a towel that I had put down because we had some water coming through the wall, right? And so I put the towel down.
Wait, this is in Puerto Rico? Or
Yeah,
somewhere
it was
else?
here.
Oh yeah, of course there's water coming
yeah.
through the wall.
Welcome down the wall. You know how it is. And so and I had put a towel there the night before because I'm like, oh crap, we're getting a little flooding. And so the next day, this snake was sitting on the towel like, this is my bed now. And
Bring me
I'm
snacks.
like, listen, dog, like I have a rule. I have this little tiny space that is my home. This is my home. You have the whole world. That's your home. And so if you come into my domain, all bets are off. Like, I will do my best with most things to save them and throw them back outside. You come back, then you're dead. Like, come on, like, fool
I
me
mean, one
once.
morning is more than most creatures get.
Yeah. Well, I'm fairly nice. Plus, I do feel bad when I kill something. I don't, you know. But anyway, so I have this snake, and snakes are my one thing, and I'm freaking out. And then Sean comes downstairs, and I'm thinking that maybe he'll help me with this one. You know, going back to the whole, if I'm freaking out, maybe he'll be the strong one, right? So he
Man
comes
fight
down. He's still standing on the stairs, and he looks over, and he's like, "Oh yeah, you got a snake there." And then he walked upstairs. That's all he said. And then he walked back upstairs. And I'm like, so I didn't know what to do. And because it started to move, I'm like, I do not want to lose you in the house because then I will freak out and I will never sleep.
You'll never sit down. You'll never put a
No.
blanket over you ever
No.
again. Yeah.
No.
no,
So
I would have to burn the house down.
yeah. So I went to the kitchen. I grabbed like a Ralph's bag and I put a brand new thing of flour in it in the bag. And I'm like, and I went to it and I pounded the shit. I just went
my
bam,
God.
bam, 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 bam. And then I'm like, I took it off. And I'm like,
That's violent.
and I'm like, well, because they move fast. I'm like, what am I supposed to do? I didn't know what else to do. This is not a cup paper situation.
Yeah.
Like there's nothing that was going to work for me except for at the time, it's all I could think of. couldn't think really logically because
And you had to move fairly quickly.
I don't like snakes. Snakes, it's my thing. And so I just pounded the shit out of it. I mean, guts were coming out of every place. And then I took that towel, which, by the way, I liked that towel. And I folded it up. And then I put it in the bag, and then I threw it in the trash. Then I emptied the trash. Then I went outside with the trash and put it in the trash can outside immediately.
I probably would have done the same thing, except the bag of flour. I have not yet beaten something to death with a bag of flour. That's a new one.
I had just had like grocery shopping, like I had my groceries delivered, and that was sitting on my counter. So I just went with like the first thing there. It's a bag of flour. Bam.
Is this mic on?
What?
Is this mic on?
Wait, who is that?
What happened here?
Wait, who is that?
JLD.
Holla!
JLD.
What are you doing here?
Look at
Well-
you walking in.
Picture the scene. Kate and I were sitting at home. You guys are streaming this live on Instagram. I don't think a lot of people know this.
Oh, right.
But we were listening, obviously, because we're super fans. And you guys were just having this fascinating conversation about bugs. And I said, I have to come back and do a cameo and tell my favorite bug story.
Let's hear it.
First, I love, by the way, I think a lot of people might have missed it, but just like 20 seconds ago, Becky goes, yeah, so I went grocery shopping. Actually, no, I had my groceries delivered.
I mean,
Let's be honest.
Let's be honest.
We're not leaving the bubble.
I know.
So on the episode I was on, I talked about my trip to India.
Oh, yeah.
And while we were listening to your stories about bugs, it actually came up with a memory for me that I haven't thought about for years. So I have to go to this mountain that's like all rocks. It's in Hampi, India. And we're like scaling these rocks to get to the top. There's this little hut on the top, and there's a couple shamans up there. And they're doing this ceremony. And we knew they were going to be up there. It was like the sun setting ceremony. But we didn't know what was going to happen beyond that. We just thought that we could observe. And we got there, and they were just frying something up in the corner as part of the ceremony. And we thought that we were just going to watch. But they beckoned us over. And they had these like little tweezer type things. And they told us to put our hands out. And they put these things in our hands. And I looked down. I didn't recognize it at first. But upon closer inspection, it was tarantula legs.
How big?
About the size of the finger.
Yeah, they're
Okay.
big. Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
about the size of the finger, maybe a little thinner. And I could tell because there was still hair on it. Like it was singed, because they had been frying it, but it was singed. And they kind of kept motioning to the mouth. But me and this other guy who was also from the States were just like, we're not going to do it.
It's not happening.
But then they started doing it and crunching on it. And then we basically felt peer pressured. And for the first and last time in my life, I put a tarantula leg in my mouth and chewed and swallowed.
And what was it like?
I want to say that it was good. It was not good. Luckily, it was pretty tasteless. It just felt like an overcooked, dry, old French fry. Like with no taste, no salt. And I had the taste in my mouth for like probably 3 or 4 days.
Ew.
What would you guys have done in that situation?
Nope. Bye.
Bye.
Rustan?
I don't know. I think that would have been really hard because I wouldn't have wanted to offend.
Right.
But I probably would have been like, you first, John.
So is it okay that I just walked into your house
Yeah, of
tonight?
course.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, we appreciate your bug story. I didn't realize that this was a thing. My favorite bug story. But apparently, the bathroom, that is my favorite bug story because it was so ridiculous.
Yeah.
With
Yeah.
Sean and
Yeah,
the
yeah,
cockroaches.
That's a great bug story.
My
Yeah.
favorite bug story is this bug, which is
Oh,
Rufus, because they call him my baby bug.
Woofy, woofy, boofy.
Well, we appreciate you stopping by there, John.
Hey,
Yeah.
listen, I just
We like
want to say, love the show. I actually gave you guys a shout out in front of like an entire stadium full of people.
Yeah, you did when we were at
Dirty Coin.
the premiere of Dirty Coin.
Yeah.
That was really cool.
We got a couple of subscribers in the house
For
right
sure,
there. I mean,
for
people
sure.
literally pulled their phones out. They
Yep.
subscribed.
That's really cool.
I can't wait to tune in when this episode gets published to hear Rustan's story, his life, some weird things that are going to come out.
This
and,
is going to be an interesting show.
gonna be an
I'm
interesting
sure.
show.
This is
Yeah.
actually really going to be interesting. We have a special surprise thing that we're doing with Erin.
That I'm a little scared about.
She'll be fine.
Oh, so you clued her in that there is a thing.
I know that,
She knows
I
that there's
know
a
that
thing
there's a
because
thing, but
we
that's
talk-
all I
because-
know.
Yeah, she
Okay.
knows that there's a thing.
Okay.
So she doesn't know any details.
I'm so excited, especially after that whole like bug and snake
Oh,
and,
no.
and toad,
No,
and
no.
toad thing. I'm just so excited.
I might require an extra loaf of bread if you do
I'm
something
like
mean to me
vibrating
in
with
this.
excitement because I totally
I can
guessed,
vouch.
I like
He's
totally
vibrating.
guessed something without I just somehow knew it. Maybe it was a premonition.
Oh, maybe.
Oh.
maybe.
All right, guys, we're going to turn the spotlight back onto Rustan. So I'm going to bid you adieu. Anything before I walk out the door?
No, but thanks for being one of our biggest fans, and thanks
Such a
for the
big fan.
cameo.
Guys,
And
listen to these guys live on Instagram. It's amazing. They do such great work.
thanks, John.
After the screening,
Yeah.
I talked with you. I talked with Sean, and then I got busy breaking down things, and then everybody disappeared. Like absolutely, I didn't get to say goodbye to my father-in-law
Yeah.
or to John or
I
any.
was laughing hysterically.
Oh my
because
God, that video.
Who was it? Wait, who was it that sent it to me? Who?
Well, it's all over the internet.
Somebody sent that. To me. No, somebody sent it to me. I can't remember who.
You said it was Andrew.
Andrew Leone.
Andrew Leone.
So Andrew Leone, who's not even here, he's
How did
in
he
he's
find-
in Minnesota because
It
he
popped up
he
on-
Googled dirty coin because he saw that our post and so he looked it up and that video was the first thing
Oh
that
my
came up
God,
from
that's-
Twitter was
yeah.
the one of me being stupid and mouthing the words as Erin talked. And I'm like, oh my God.
You know, you
Of
guys
course.
lip sync that so accurately.
We only
that when I
planned
showed it to
one part of
Alana,
it.
she was like, "Wait, why did she say it twice?" I'm like, "No, you got to watch it again." And then she watched it again, and then like she still didn't get it. I'm like, "Babe, that was
Aaron.
Erin talking."
Yeah.
and she lip synced it. She's like, "No way, that was so good."
You know, and that
But then
actually,
she left it like completely uncut.
it was great.
And you know what? The light is good. Your hair is great. Your makeup's great in that
Yeah.
one. And it's so totally an impromptu video. And there it is on the
Yeah.
internet for everyone to see.
Yeah, well,
So
now I
good.
know that I'm really good at lip syncing. So, you know, like if we
Ooh, we can do
like
more.
we could do like that. You know, like that show, is it the lip sync battle or whatever?
Oh, yeah.
We could do like our own version of that here. I think I would be pretty good.
I think open mic night at Norberto's is
Yeah.
about to get
Oh,
so
yeah.
much better.
Oh my God, so much better. Oh God.
Oh, I love it. Yeah, that was cool.
So speaking of dirty coin,
Mhm.
you have taken on a new role.
I am somewhat involved. I'm somewhat more involved now, but at
Yeah.
least in a more like obvious way, maybe.
So what's your official title?
Oh,
Merch.
I named myself. I'm the master of merch.
Master of merch. Master of
I
merch.
needed alliteration, and it needed to
Yeah.
be something I felt already comfortable in. So, yeah,
It also, for short, mom.
yeah, which is weird, but that's okay.
Well, but I mean, you're like Mr. Mom.
I am sort of Mr. Mom. I am
Because-
one of a very small handful of Mr. Moms in
Yeah,
Palmas Del Mar.
yeah.
Yeah.
So I mean, that was on my list of things to talk about. So I feel like that was a good segue.
Yeah,
So
that's an excellent segue.
What's
Erin.
that
Well done.
like?
What's it like? It's it's something I've gotten more comfortable in it as time has gone on. I can say that having started doing it in California, it felt one way, and then doing it in Palmas Del Mar and Puerto Rico, in the farthest corner of the deepest part of the Atlantic Ocean and Caribbean Ocean, is a completely different thing.
How so?
Just like culturally, it's not done here, and even within the bubble, it's like super rare. Like I know of like two other guys really that are the head of the house, like head of the homemaking household part of it, while their boss bitch wives go get their business on. So yeah, it's rare, and with that comes some interesting stuff. Like for example, like when my kids have play dates. Like ladies reach out to my wife, and then she doesn't get back to them because
Right.
she doesn't know this number, or not trying to be rude. She's just like hecka busy, right?
Right.
So
She doesn't get back to me, and
right.
she does know my number.
yeah, yeah. So
Love
she
you,
just got a
Lana.
lot. She's just got a lot going on, and so so it kind of it might come off a little cold, right? From like a family dynamic point of view, and it's because people just are not like, either they're not comfortable like reaching out to me for whatever reason because like I'm a guy, and so like a lot of that, like I don't want to rag on anybody, but there was a, you know, there were definitely times where I felt like I wasn't included in family stuff,
Right.
or our family wasn't as included, I think, as it could have been. But I think that's turned around a lot. I think also being here longer, people like get to know me,
Right.
they trust me, and you know, to the extent that I think I would feel as comfortable, you know, with that as well. I hope that I can, you know, my kids are awesome, so that
True.
helps a lot. So
I can
you know,
vouch for that.
so yeah, culturally, I think it's just different, and I've had to kind of breach that barrier a little bit, but you know, it's been rad.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's one thing that I think about sometimes, because the dynamic is different. It can definitely tell you, like from a family perspective, even Alana, like she's way more nurturing than me with kids, right? With our kids. And so they need that. Like kids need that like nurturing, like female like energy. So they get it from her, but like she's not the one that they see all day long. You know, I am much more like I think in terms of order. I think in terms of you know, consequences and rewards, and so my system is a lot more male, I guess you could say. I don't know if all men are like that, but so it's a very different energy that they get from me than from her, and I think in a lot of ways I have to rise to that occasion, right, and be more nurturing because they need it. But I have definitely stepped outside of my comfort zone, you know.
Well, I can tell you that you are viewed as super dad here.
Oh, that's sweet.
Yeah.
So what, like, when you were doing it in Silicon Valley, there were a lot more, like,
Oh,
dads
yeah.
that
When
were...
it, like California is like
Yeah.
more, you know, progressive or
yeah,
whatever.
yeah, that makes sense.
They like to brand themselves as being very progressive.
And you were homeschooling then, too.
Oh yeah.
Like,
yeah.
how long have you been...
Well, so my oldest was homeschooled. So Alana started homeschooling her when she was a stay-at-home parent. And even then, Alana was like also somehow simultaneously like building her company because she's just amazing. And then when I ultimately quit, I took over homeschooling both her and our middle child. And now I'm homeschooling all three of our kids. So yeah, it's been, gosh, how long has it been? At least 7 years, I want to say. And I thought like I was homeschooled, so for like a lot of my life. And so I think I was the catalyst for Alana originally choosing to homeschool our oldest, because I was there standing there like, you can do it, babe. I mean, you know, I felt like I had some good ideas, some good suggestions on how to do it. And I felt like I could back her up even though I wasn't there. And so I believed it could be done. I believed something good would come out of it. And then, you know, when the time came for me to take that on, it was really obvious because it was in 2020. And even though like both of our kids were in school at that point, actually, they had started doing like first part-time, and we kind of looking for the right thing, private schools that would work with us to kind of enrich their education some more. 2020, obviously, all that changed, right? And in
Right.
California, it was like the toughest as of any other place. I think they had schools. Some schools are shut for like a whole year, if not longer.
Wow.
So at that moment, I was like, okay, well, I know what to do, right? This is not a problem for me.
Yeah.
And as an interesting note, at that moment, we had to move quickly because in California, the government suddenly decided that they weren't going to fund homeschooling schools. So the way they do it there is you can homeschool a couple of different ways. One of the ways you can do it is that you can actually homeschool through a school, and that school will receive the usual funding that all kids get for education, and from there they'll help you get like materials and things like that. So it was small, but anyway, in 2020 they said that's it, no more applications, right? And so I had to act very quickly because I wasn't sure that we were going to be leaving, and so it was kind of crazy though. I still remember that as like, you know, one of those moments where I couldn't believe that our leaders would do something like that at a time where people were losing their jobs. You know, their kids couldn't go to school, right?
Right.
Yeah.
It was like
Yeah.
that or virtual schooling. I was like, how could you do that to people? Like basically tell them like, sorry, if you wanted homeschool, you're on your own.
Yeah. It's
What the heck?
It's so
Yeah.
stupid.
Anyway,
Yeah.
so
I do find it fascinating how many people in Palmas homeschool.
yeah, there's a great community here.
Yeah. It's crazy. And then like goes along with like the entrepreneurs.
Well,
Yeah.
and it's really cool too because I'm like, there's like these like pods, you know, for different things. Like I just think that is so cool that more people need to be homeschooling because our system is broken.
We have a a private school here in Palmas, and I know that there's been some conversation too about like involving homeschool kids in after school programs there as well, because they see it as a market that can be served, and I think that's wonderful. But yeah, it's like I personally know over 100 homeschooling families in this community.
Wow.
Which I don't know what it's like. You know, I remember what it's like back in California. Like I would never have access to that many families in such a small place. And that has been, I think, huge for creating community for these guys, for, like you said, creating pods where they can get together and, like, you know, in somebody's home and like learn together. And you know, opportunities for sports and clubs and things like that. It just is amazing. And that's one of the main reasons we're here, actually. That was a discovery that we made early on when we were taking a look at Puerto Rico.
You guys made kind of a quick exit, right? From California?
In a way, like, okay, we were planning it, but we weren't planning to come to Puerto Rico. And we were planning it back in 2019, actually. We were planning to go. And we were looking at world schooling, actually. And for the uninitiated, world schooling is where you just go on permanent vacation and you take your kids with you and you hope that they learn something along the way.
Which I feel like you've kind of been doing this year.
We did do that for close to 3 months.
Yeah, it was really
I mean,
cool.
that's like nothing compared to like what some of these
Yeah,
families have been
yeah.
doing. But I'm also like not a sailor. You can take anything to the logical extreme, right? That was I have to say, coming back from that, you know, they gained a lot, and I saw those kids, the amount of traveling that we did, they rose to the occasion. And that is, for a parent, that's like, there's nothing like that, seeing that happen. It's
I
really
think that's
cool.
amazing.
That's really cool.
Being a homeschool parent in Palmas has been terrific. I've met so many good people, and you're absolutely right about the entrepreneurial spirit. It's big, and it's very cool.
I love that.
Yeah.
I love that so much. Yeah.
I'm very proud of my community.
Yeah.
What's your favorite spot in Palmas?
Ooh, I think I recently discovered this spot. It's not far from here. It's at the end of, what's this road over here that comes
Surfside?
Is it yeah? So
This,
if you go down,
this
if you
one
down
is Shell Castle. So
yeah,
Surfside becomes Shell Castle.
Yeah, so if you go down Surfside, there's a beach at the end of that one.
Yeah.
And like a lot of people knew about that, but I did not.
Yeah.
And it's very easy to get to, and it's this nice little sliver, right? That's my favorite spot. That's my favorite spot in Palmas. I mean,
I
other
have
than
never been
your
there.
house, right?
Yeah.
Your houses are
Yeah.
also really awesome.
Do you have a favorite restaurant here?
I don't know. I feel like if I say a favorite restaurant name, I'm gonna be like pushing the scales. Like,
Nah.
really tipping the scales.
Nah, it's fine.
I mean, I think overall, just for consistency and like generally like good vibes, is Pura Vida.
Yep.
I mean, the vibe there is always on point. But
Yeah.
I mean, I was just at Agostina with last night. That's right. And I haven't been to Ember and Vine, and the restaurants here are awesome. But I think that I don't know. I just have to give a shout out to Pura Vida. Like, and that I've been coming to Palmas for, 16 years. No, 18 years. And I haven't lived here that whole time. But man, that place has been there this entire time. That and the Chinese restaurant, which I don't go to a lot, but like, man, imagine, right? It's just a bedrock. It's never gonna leave.
Yeah.
Well, I got to know Rustan a little bit better. This would have been last year. Have we been doing this for a year or longer than that? Was it 2022 or 23?
At least a year. Yeah.
Yeah. So, because I had found out that Rustan is a dungeon master, and he started like a D&D group or other RPGs. And so,
What's an RPG?
It is.
It's a dungeon master.
Let's talk about it. So,
Well, I mean, I am not a part of that world.
I am a nerd. I love this kind of stuff so much. And when people ask me about like role-playing games, RPGs, I tell them the reason why I really dig it, especially as an adult, is like you're playing this game, sure, but I really like the whole critical thinking aspect of it, where you're put into different scenarios and you have to think, okay, with my certain skill set that I have, how would I get out of this or whatever. And I think I just really like having to put my mind to work. And then you're also doing it with other people who are into that as well. And then it's like you kind of play off of each other. And Rustan does such a good job as our DM and just like walking us through everything. And I don't know, I love it. I really enjoy it. I feel like I'm a decent addition to the group. I'm not the best, but I have these moments where I do something pretty cool and I give myself like a little like pat on the back because I'm like, yeah, good job, Becs.
I think that like the aspect of improv theater. So I was a theater geek, theater nerd. I don't know what you call him, theater kid. When I was little,
Theater geek.
Yeah,
I've never heard of it in that way before.
a theater kid.
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
theater geek.
I never even heard the term until my teenager told me about it. But yeah, so I was a theater kid. I didn't do like musical. I think I'd be pretty bad at it. But yeah, so that really like kind of kicked it off for me. And I think that improv is a big part of it. Like you have to be willing to just like put yourself out there and do weird stuff and wear a role,
Yeah.
right? And I think in a lot of life, people don't do that. And when we think about games, we think of something that's very like a consumable.
Yeah.
It's not something that you have to like put energy into to
Yeah.
enjoy necessarily. So that's what I think is rad about it. Like,
Yeah.
it's an act as much as it is following like a set of rules.
And I like too that we kind of switch it off with like which kind of games, like if we're actually doing D&D versus if we're going to do like, Blades
Blades
game.
in the dark.
Blades in the dark.
So what? Tell
That's a
me
very different tone.
what's the difference?
Well, I
Because
think
I know nothing.
I think for that you'd have to play it.
Okay.
Really, you'd
So-
have to play it. And as a matter of fact, I brought something
Okay.
that I want to try, and I like flipping the script.
I'm scared.
So instead of me running a game, I prepared something for Erin to run as a dungeon master
Because she's new?
Because she's new, and I think it's important that everybody gets that being a dungeon master is not something that only the initiated can do. Anybody can do it.
Oh.
And so,
Okay.
so I wrote a script, not a script. I wrote something that I felt would be easy for someone new to follow, right?
Okay.
And I printed it out and I brought it. Do you want to
Okay.
try? Do you want to give it a
So
go?
we're going to play a little mini game right now?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, we're going to play a little mini game.
Okay.
Sounds great.
Let's do it.
Here comes the music right now.
So is this like, are we doing we're doing like D&D or are we
it's-
doing
okay,
another?
so it's D&D light,
Yeah.
right? And recently, there's been I've gone through many years of internalizing and externalizing this idea. I was introduced to Dungeons and Dragons by my friend Danny when I was like 12.
Okay.
And that was a very long time ago. And I've just been like playing these games, and especially this one game, for a long time. But man, there's some good stuff, like new good stuff out there.
Yeah.
And then at the same time, there's a bunch of people that are like, you know what, that stuff that came out in the 90s was kind of the best. So we're actually going to be playing something kind of more like that.
Oh, yeah.
And it's really like, it's really pared down to like something that's, it's literally just like a cool conversation. And then once in a while we roll some dice. So let's do it.
Okay.
Do we
All right.
need die?
I brought everything.
You brought everything?
Yeah.
I mean, he's a DM. Come on, he's got his shit
Oh,
together.
I didn't know how in depth he was going to go with this. So
I'm
I knew.
super excited about this.
Oh my
Okay.
gosh! Yeah.
Let's do it.
Yeah,
I'm gonna put
yeah.
my mic down.
Yet.
You know you're about to have fun when paper works involved.
Right. But then he pulled out like a little thing that you roll the dice on. And then he's got like this little stuffed animal monster guy. I'm going to have to take a picture of this. Does he have a name?
It's really cute, and no, he doesn't have a name. But
He's-
you know, you could.
He's like a little chomper guy.
He does.
His,
He's
his name be like Chomper or
Well, he's got
Chomp?
it. They've got names in the game,
Okay.
right?
Oh.
So somebody a long time ago invented a whole manual of monsters for this game.
Okay.
It's called the Monstrous Manual.
Oh.
And this is a mimic. So what you're looking at here is a treasure chest with teeth and a tongue hanging out of it.
Okay.
And it
he
also
holds the dice.
And somebody manufactured this, and I bought it right away because
Yeah.
it's great. It holds dice.
This is
So-
fantastic. Did you draw this?
No, but some awesome person on the internet did, and then I filled it out and put a picture on it. for you.
Just a note, I'm really actually impressed because you remembered that my elf has red hair.
Okay, we're gonna have to
I-
take pictures of all of this stuff.
I had
and,
to
like,
scan the
post it on
memory,
the
blog.
memory, but I did it.
I love this little die. It's a dice within a dice,
Yes,
or a die within a die.
it's a
Or do you
die
s-
within a die, but
die
they
within a
they
die.
are together dice, are they not?
Well,
They
Yeah.
are indeed.
This is the
So
only
this would
time.
be a
this is-
dice?
exactly. The only time you would hold a single item in your hand and say, "This is dice."
yeah,
Because-
because it's two. It's one inside the other.
Yeah, there's
Okay.
there's special
I
purposes
like that
for all
one.
these things, and
Okay.
and to be fair, the whole thing has evolved greatly over time, and the addition of all sorts of weird stuff. But we call these are in the biz. These are called math.
In the biz.
These are called math rocks.
Ooh, math rocks. I like math.
Yeah, look at this.
All right, so
You made-
so I'm gonna hand Aaron this like instruction sheet
Okay.
that I created, and I've never done this before. I've never literally handed someone a script. In fact, if anything, it would be considered a no-no to hand someone a script to be a dungeon master because it's all about creativity. But I wanted you to be able to dive in,
Okay.
and I think this might help. Becky, can you describe what you have in your hand over here?
This is a character sheet of my character, Reveticka, who is an elf druid. Level 1, couldn't give me any more than that. It's fine. What do we all got here? It tells me all my abilities and mods, my saves, breath,
Mods, what's
poison,
that mean?
paralyze. Ooh, paralyze. What? These are new things.
Well, so a lot of these things exist. A lot of these things exist in the Dungeons and Dragons that you know, but this character sheet like kind of like brings them to the front a little bit differently, and it's like hand illustrated by some dude on the internet. So this is a labor of love.
I feel like I have some high marks here. Like,
There's also like a bunch of empty space because for what we're doing, we don't need all that stuff filled out. But
shape changer can turn
Yes.
into a natural beast, small or large, once a day. So I can Shrek out every once in a while. Okay, cool. Love
I
it.
love how it says beast and you think of Shrek.
And that's immediately what I went
Okay.
to. I'm like, yeah,
I was thinking like bear, lion,
sure.
eagle.
Yeah, no, I went right to Shrek. Once a day I turn ugly.
Okay.
This is good.
You
I
like
mean,
it? Okay.
I don't really know what it means, but I love that it does tie back to what we were talking about earlier with snakes.
See?
Yeah.
There's snakes in this.
Great.
So it's called the Viper's Vault.
I named it.
Oh, you did. Of course you did.
So obviously I've read this.
Yeah.
So it won't be a huge surprise for me, but it will be for Becky.
Right.
So I'm going to play second fiddle as a player character, and so I will not do anything. I will try not to spoil it. You know, I'm not gonna like get in the game. I'm not gonna meta game, right? So, so do you think do you want to?
Yeah.
You ready?
Yeah.
Okay, let's go.
Okay. So we are delving into the Viper's Vault. You've defeated a snake-headed guardian, avoided poison dart traps, and clashed with cultists. The dungeon snake motives and the remnants of petrified creatures hint at the Medusa's presence
Oh,
somewhere
man.
below. What?
Bunch
What?
of snakes.
Right on the
Yeah,
nose.
yeah.
Jeez Louise.
Sorry, Bex.
What's
Sorry.
It's fine.
What's the Indiana Jones quote? Why'd it have to be snakes?
Why do you have to be snakes?
Okay, Bex and Rustan, as you carefully make your way down the tunnels, tell me a little bit about your characters. What are their names? What do they look like? And what's going through their head as they delve deeper into the dungeon?
So, again, my name is Reveticka. I am an elf druid. I am hot. Like, seriously, she's cute. And she's got red hair. And she's got some sweet abilities. She's really fucking annoyed right now because she's walking. Rustan's ahead of her. And she's like, snakes? Really? Really? Snakes? Snakes? And that's how I'm really kind of feeling about this whole thing. But it's fine.
I love the playing against type 2. You have a druid that hates snakes. Like imagine being like somebody that, you know, has dedicated their life their whole like being to like be one with the wilderness. We were like, you know what? There's one fucking thing
Yeah.
I can't stand. It's fucking snakes.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah.
All right. Well, my character's name is Fenwick the Fourth, and he's a foppish looking individual. He is the fourth in line of a history
Can I
of
see your
fighters,
picture?
and
Oh, okay.
and he
He kind of reminds me of like Shaggy.
yeah, he does kind of look like Shaggy.
Yeah, and you're hot.
And so he's I don't know, he just got lucky, I guess, because he's hanging out with like a hot elf, and he's he's trying to do his best, but really he'd rather just be at the pub having a drink.
Okay.
And he got roped into this.
How? Like, how did this
And,
happen?
Well, he's the fourth Fenwick in his family. He comes from a long line of strong adventurers, and he's trying to live up to that name.
So what, did we meet at a bar?
I don't know. I mean, but it's dangerous to go alone, as the saying goes. So yeah, what's the backstory?
What year is this?
Oh, are we talking Earth time or like fantasy
we're not-
world time?
Yeah, yeah.
Is this Middle Earth? Is it
Yeah.
Greyhawk or whatever?
Yeah.
I don't know.
That's the beautiful thing about this. We get to do anything. We get to create magical worlds that is not this that we
Yeah.
live in.
Yeah.
We could
presently.
derail this whole thing and just create a backstory
Yeah.
of like why Fenwick is like following around Reveticka and trying to live up to his name as a fighter, right? Or maybe we could create a backstory of how Reveticka just needed somebody that could walk. She's annoyed to hang out with him, but really she just hired him to be a meat shield.
You know,
that
the way I look at it too is like, hey, here's this dude, fine, he can come along, and if I need him as dragon fodder, then that's what I use him for. You know,
Oh.
like,
I mean, can he not help you kill the snakes?
hey, I didn't know that there were snakes
Okay,
when I got
okay.
into this.
Right.
I mean, I don't know how much venom snakes have, but maybe if they bite him first.
As you step into the next chamber of the vault, you see a grand mosaic of a coiled serpent in the center of the floor. 4 stone pillars, each engraved with a different phase of the moon, stand around the room. On each pillar sits a glowing orb. Scanning the room, you notice an inscription written on the wall. To see the serpent's gaze unshaken, align the moons, and the path awakens.
Okay, so there's no other doors in this room, right? So
Well,
that
I
mean
mean,
so
there's
there's
one door,
clearly
right?
there's the door
The
we
door
came
you
in
walked in.
came into, but clearly we have a puzzle. Well, I know what the solution is because I wrote it. I wrote to Becky. I wrote it to Reveticka.
So we're in this room. It has one door, and it has a bunch of pillars that have orbs on them, or some kind of.
4 stone pillars engraved with a different phase of the moon
Okay.
stand around the room. On each pillar sits a glowing orb. Then, written on the wall, the inscription on the wall says, "To see the serpent's gaze unshaken, align the moons, and the path awakens."
So we need to. These pillars are they don't move. Do the pillars move? The
No.
pillars are just there
No,
with
4 stone
they're not.
pillars.
Okay. So can the orbs be moved? I would imagine so. Is there like an altar or anything like that around?
Okay, so Fenwick is going to walk over and pick up one of these orbs. Little thing about Fenwick, he's kind of stupid. So he's gonna
You tell me.
he's got an intelligence of 4 on a scale of 1 to 18. That's pretty bad.
Wow.
Am I smart? I'm supposed to be smart. Hold on.
So he's gonna pick up the orb and he's gonna look at it. He's gonna say, "Oh, it's got symbols on it. It's got symbols on it." Don't know what it means. He puts it back down.
So that's not going to work.
So, Aaron, I'm gonna lean in and I'm gonna pretend that I'm whispering to you.
Okay.
So sometimes players get a little hung up, and you have to feed them a little information.
Okay.
Yeah. So you can say your character notices.
He's being nice. Sometimes Becky gets hung up, and you have to feed them a little
Because
information.
we're creating this in the theater of the mind, right? So
Right.
what would be obvious to us, right, if we were actually there or looking at a beautifully rendered video game, is not obvious when we're trying to like share this illusion.
I'm trying
So
to just
sometimes the dungeon master's responsibility is to like telegraph information
Right.
so that we don't get because ultimately we're creating a movie in our minds. We wanted the action to keep going.
Yes.
I'm trying to visualize like this room.
So the orbs definitely have symbols that correlate to the inscription on the wall.
So, is it possible that the orbs are not on their correct pillars?
Magic in action.
That we need to move the orbs to the correct pillars in like a correct order?
Let's try it.
Definitely you should try it.
Okay. So I'm going up to all the orbs, and
Do you
I'm
remember what the inscription says?
no. Can you say it again?
Please read it again.
To see the serpent's gaze unshaken, align the moons and the path awakens.
Align the moons and the path awakens. Is this like the orbs are like the moons? Align the moons? Yeah. So do we need to like, I don't know, like put them in like the whole like order of like the moon, phases?
Let's try it, but I think this is a
Let's
better job for
try
the
it.
druid because Fenwick doesn't know about that stuff. He knows
It
about
seems
bars and
like
wenches.
that would be a
Like I feel
good
like as
idea.
I'm doing all this thinking, Fenwick is just staring at me like stupid,
awe.
not
Mhm.
helping
Yeah.
at all.
This is definitely your wheelhouse.
It would go from waning or waxing. Wait,
I think it's called the new moon, right?
Yeah. So is there an invisible orb anywhere? No. Yes. So I go and I find this invisible orb and I put it on the first pillar.
yes.
And then I go to the next orb, and that is the little crescent, the little one, and then I put that one next. So okay, so we have the new moon. Then it would be the waxing crescent, where it's on the right side, little crescent, and then we would move on to then like the full moon, and then the last one then would be the waning.
Also known as first quarter and last quarter.
So, wait, is that right? Yeah, something
Probably.
like that.
Some close.
Yeah.
I think we're good. I
think,
feel
yeah.
like
She
I feel
solved-
like you got the
This in-
orb.
this-
so
so
I guess
this-
the question is, did she solve the puzzle?
So this whole
Yeah.
time, I'm like,
Oh
I'm,
my god! Oh my
yeah.
god, guys! The mosaic floor shifts, revealing a staircase descending to a chamber below. You did it!
Yay.
Good job. Wait, what's your name again?
Reveticka.
Reveticka.
So Fenwick walks over and like smells the air coming out of that
Ooh.
chamber. What does it smell like?
That smells very dungeony. I would imagine.
It smells like the bathroom that I walked into when Sean didn't flush the toilet.
There's a bunch of dead cockroaches lying around.
Shit. Okay, you guys are you walking down the stairs?
Yes.
You're
yeah.
going?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
Now Fenwick's definitely got his like big boy pants on, but inside he's like fucking
Who's
frightened.
in front?
I am.
I'm assuming the fighter is because
Yes.
otherwise
You're in
Well,
front.
I'm
Okay.
also a little irritated with him because I
Right.
feel like I just figured that whole thing out, and
And he
he was
didn't
just
help.
He was, like,
staring
having a cigarette
like the
while
whole
you're-
time. He's like,
Yeah.
"Nerd," and so I'm like, "Go," and he starts walking down,
All right.
and I follow him.
clank, clank, clank,
So,
clank down the steps.
The air grows colder as you enter a vast, dimly lit room filled with eerie statues of adventurers in lifelike poses, their faces frozen in hopeless determination, terror, or despair.
So Medusa must be near.
At the far end, a Medusa sits regally on a stone throne, her eyes gleaming with malice, and her hair a mass of writhing serpents. Around her feet, large snakes hiss menacingly, ready to strike. The Medusa hisses, "Strike, my beauties!" as
Ooh,
the
that was good.
snakes uncoil,
That was
Well
good.
done.
rushing towards you. Roll for initiative.
There, you got it. You got the concept.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay.
So when snakes attack, you roll for initiative at Dungeons and Dragons.
Okay.
Not all games are like this.
Okay.
But this is how we do it here, and this is where we bring in the math rocks.
Okay. Now we get to roll the dice.
Okay. Roll. We're gonna roll the same die,
Okay.
and whoever gets the higher one, their team goes first.
Okay.
This is important
rolling
because
for
if you go
Becky?
first, no, you're rolling for the Medusa
Oh.
and for
Okay.
the snakes.
Okay.
One of us is gonna roll for our team, which is
Okay.
composed of just Reveticka and Fenwick,
Okay.
who's shaking in his boots.
Fuck Fenwick.
She is mad. Okay, so I don't know which one to.
Okay, so it actually, in this case, it doesn't matter, but normally it would be one of these. So let's just go with one of these.
D20.
Okay.
This is a D20. This is a 20-sided die.
19.
Nice.
We get to beat that.
Oh.
Not nice.
Oh, that's not good.
That's not nice.
Well, sure. Balls. Rustin?
I think Aaron just won initiative, but
Uh-oh.
give it a try. Maybe we get a 20.
Oh, man.
First timer's luck.
I guess. 13.
13. Okay. So on your
Okay.
sheet there, it tells you what happens next. Do you want to read it out loud?
To make an attack, choose one target and roll 20-sided die. An attack succeeds on a roll of 12 or higher and deals d6 damage.
Okay, so a D6 is a 6-sider right here.
Okay.
And I want to call your attention now.
Yes.
You have 7 hit points. How many of those do you think you can bear? So in your mind, now imagine, mind's eye, right? Fenwick has just descended down the stairs.
Mm-hmm.
He's reaching for his weapon because he knows he's about to get killed. The snakes are coiling themselves up there, and Reveticka is probably not even fully in the room. I don't know.
Yeah.
And what are the snakes going to attack? Are they going to attack Fenwick, or are they
Yeah.
going to attack Reveticka?
No, they're going to get Fenwick first.
Who's the Medusa going to attack?
Her.
Yeah.
Why? Your call, but I'm just curious.
Well, I'm assuming the snakes are going to take Fenwick down, and then Medusa's going to go after her.
She might see Reveticka as a bigger threat, honestly. Oh.
Oh, so you think
Your
that
call.
she would go after the snakes would go
Yeah,
after
so this is where
Reveticka?
you get to
Yeah.
act as an actual opponent. What would an actual
Oh.
opponent do in this case? And your job is to try to kill us with great prejudice.
Oh, okay, then fine. The snakes are going after her, and Fenwick's. I feel like
Fenwick
you're
gets the Medusa?
easier prey. Yeah, Medusa's going after.
Okay. So now you would roll for each of those creatures and decide who they're gonna attack. So who are the snakes gonna attack? They're gonna
The snakes are going to go after Reveticka.
So they're just gonna spread on the outsides of the room.
Sorry. I'm really sorry. She looks terrified.
All right. So here's your opportunity to improvise. Okay.
Okay.
To improv. So you would describe the what it is that the snakes are doing in like a cinematic way.
So the snakes are, writhing around Medusa, and they are
Reveticka.
Reveticka. Well,
Yeah.
no, they were around me, but
Okay.
they're moving towards you.
Okay.
Throughout the room in a very methodical manner, and they are just creeping,
Surrounding me?
slithering closer and closer. They're
Okay.
on the walls. They're on the handrails.
Okay.
There's no handrails.
The handrails.
Dungeon has handrails. I love it. I love that picture.
Oh, that's great.
All right. So you've got 2 giant snakes.
Yes.
Make 2 attack rolls.
With the 6.
One for each.
D-
no, with this
no,
one.
the D20.
And
Yeah.
if you beat a 12, you're going to do some damage to Reveticka.
God damn.
Nope.
Okay, you got a 6, so that would miss.
That's a hit. Okay, so now we gotta.
So now you're gonna roll this
Yeah.
one, and she has to subtract that from her current health points.
It's perfect. So I'm down to 5.
No, you're not down yet, but
Oh.
yeah.
But
My
for
man
now.
was from 7 to 5, and if
Okay.
she's rolling that 6-sided die, this could get pretty deadly very fast. Okay, now the Medusa attacks. How's she gonna attack? Who is she gonna attack, and how?
Well, I'm attacking Fenwick. Oh, I've got the petrifying gaze or a spear. I mean, I feel like I'm going to go with the petrifying gaze.
Yeah,
Yeah.
every time.
Duh.
Naturally.
And
Go with
my
your gifts.
petrifying gaze turns adventurers to stone. So, yeah. Okay, so now I roll that one.
So
This
read a
one.
little bit more about that petrifying gaze there.
Turns adventurers to stone.
That's it. It
Yeah.
doesn't do damage. He literally turns into a rock and he's out.
Well, you haven't
If this
been much
hits.
good anyway, so
Let's find out what happens.
okay.
So on this roll, if you
yeah,
get
but
a
then
12,
I have a spear, and I can hit you with the spear once you're stone.
you could totally play it that way too. That'd be very vindictive.
Right? I mean,
Harsh, man.
Look at that. She's owning it. I love
Yeah.
it. I
She's
love
a
it.
natural.
This is like crack for me.
14.
Fenwick turns into stone.
Oh,
Aw.
sorry. Sorry, not sorry. Okay, what are you doing over there?
So it's my turn, yeah.
It's all up to you.
This is great. So I am shape shifting. Yeah. I am turning into a very large. I'm also going back to Shrek on this one.
What?
Like, I don't know. It keeps coming to me. So I'm going with it. I'm turning into a very large dragon. And I shift into the dragon and the fire. I go around the room and I go, and I have the flames just go around the entire room, getting all of the snakes. Mm-hmm. And they're all, screaming as they're dying. They're hissing loud, like high pitched, like.
Oh wow! I
know,
didn't know snakes could do that. All right,
I feel like I can hear that.
Yeah. And you feel the pain as Medusa too, because all your babies are dying.
Yeah.
Is it kind of like a?
I imagine that's what happened when I killed that snake in the house. Like, I just can't hear that high of pitch. So as I'm doing it, it's like.
Maybe that was the noise you were making as you were killing it.
That's very possible.
Okay, so you know what you have to do.
Yes, I
You
do.
got to roll the math rocks right there. So wait, I did not provide you with appropriate material to shapeshift into a dragon, and I'm not saying you would normally be able to do that according to the rules, but let's just go with it. Let's lean into it. We're having a good time.
Yeah.
So you're proposing that your fire breath is going to hit both snakes. What do you think, DM? That is your call. Should she be allowed to do that?
When a dragon,
Well, there's multiple snakes, right?
There's two.
I'm very large, and so like I will like that fire just go and it takes up the whole room, and I just like around the whole room, like
I
getting
feel
everything.
like it's legit.
Like I'm just
Okay.
gonna set
we're
it
gonna
on
we're gonna
fire.
we're gonna let it
So this is where that DM improv comes in. Like
Yeah.
you want to hurt the players, you want to hurt real bad, but
Yeah.
at the same time, you want them to have a good time. So you can make a call here of saying, okay, make 2 attack rolls, for example, right? And we can be like, yeah, seems fair.
Okay.
So I can have 2 attack rolls.
Seems fair.
Sure.
Yeah. She's rolling the die.
I'm so nervous. 1.
A critical failure.
A critical failure.
Critical failure.
That was
All
really
right, you get one more.
okay. Here we go. 20, 20, 20, 20. Big money, big money. Okay. 4.
4. Oh
I
no.
am the shittiest dragon.
Oh
Like,
no!
I
You're like the book I'm reading, and it's a dragon hatchling. She's a featherling.
like
She's like a baby dragon.
Like-
she can't do shit.
like Rustan. Like I can't let Medusa win.
Well,
Sometimes the bad guys do win, but let me ask you this, Aaron. Something so very incongruous just happened, right? She turned into a dragon. She breathed fire. By all accounts, that should wipe out every snake in like a quarter-mile radius, right?
but it didn't.
But it didn't.
It did
so,
nothing.
like, this is an opportunity for you as a DM to kind of like narrate
What
how,
really
that,
mean,
how
happened.
that could be.
it
How do
just-
these snakes avoid getting
Because
burned to a
they're
crisp?
Medusa snakes. Duh, she has the power.
So when
I mean, they probably like all came back and like hid behind her and then went back.
I would have said something
I
like
don't know.
as I was trying to get the fire out, I burped and then it was just smoke.
That's also totally acceptable. The player can narrate their own
my own
unbelievable
demise.
circumstances.
Terrible. So I burped because it was really hot and then it just turned to smoke and then like I couldn't get any fire out.
So now do I get to kill her?
Grim.
Hey.
Now it's your turn again.
Okay, so I get to roll that one.
Yeah.
Well, what is Medusa going to try here?
It's going to roll a die.
15.
Not announce what she was going to do.
Yeah, you got to announce first.
You broke
Oh,
a rule
oh.
I didn't tell you about.
I'm sorry.
You
I was-
can never do that.
I'm
Instant
gonna
kill.
go with the spear.
I always, whenever I see a dragon, I always throw a spear at it, even if I have a more
Yeah.
powerful attack.
Yeah.
Okay, fine. Throw your spear.
I think it's a good compromise, though.
Yeah.
There was like a little bit of a dice faux pas there, so she's scaling it back just so it feels fair.
Yeah.
Okay.
Fine.
So that
Okay.
means you got a d6. Roll it.
Here.
I rolled. Okay. 3.
3.
So here's what happened. So she threw the spear and it went through like my shoulder area and it hurts real bad. So now I have this like little tiny arm, like my little
Like a
tiny
little
arm
T-Rex
that
arm.
just kind of like flops around now because I'm like, owie, it hurts and it's bleeding and and it sucks because it was my right arm, and that's like my go-to little arm.
My snakes love dragon blood, by the way.
And I have
like-
so I now have one good arm left, but it's my left one. So it's tough.
Well, I mean, good thing though. You're currently a dragon. You don't need arms to breathe fire, do you?
No, I don't. And my heartburn is feeling much better.
Oh, good.
So
Right now, she's looking at her character sheet, trying to figure out where the dragon stuff is, and it's not there because I didn't prepare it, and it's not part of the normal shape-shifting abilities.
what's not part of
Turning
it?
into a dragon.
It literally says shape changer can turn into a natural beast, small or large.
What does natural beast mean to you?
Well, we're in a different world. We're
It's
not
true.
on
What?
Earth.
Who's to say?
And
what's
who's to
natural
say
here?
that there wasn't actually dragons at some point on this world? Even so,
I mean,
we don't know.
I think you make a compelling argument.
You made the mistake of saying, "Oh, aren't you just mostly water anyway?" Meh." And so I'm like, "All right, I'm gonna water boy this person thing, and I'm gonna do the whole like, and I'm gonna just charge Medusa." Flames coming out at the same time.
Wow.
And I'm gonna freak her out because I'm gonna like go crazy eyed dragon and go and I'm gonna breathe my fire and I'm just done. And then as I'm blowing it, my mouth is open. I'm gonna go in for the kill and I'm just gonna bite her head off.
That's awesome.
Wow.
I can just imagine like the dragon smashing through all the like fossilized statues, including Fenwick.
And I want you
Yeah.
to know that I have like one like crazy eye. So I have one eye that's focused right on Medusa, and then I have the crazy eye. So I need you to envision this dragon charging as it going.
Fan, if there's a fan out there that can illustrate this, please, I'm begging
your
you.
daughter?
I'm begging you.
yeah. Amelia,
Please.
can you please draw
An
this?
enraged dragon with a lazy eye. Does it do extra damage, or does she get 2 dice? Or neither. Maybe you want to. It's
No, I feel like she gets one try.
yeah. That seems like a one try kind of thing. What'd you get?
16.
16. That is a hit.
Woohoo!
Okay, now a charging dragon with a lazy eye. Does that do extra damage?
Crazy.
It's like half damage.
I'm crazy. I'm crazy. You just speared me. Like I am not a happy dragon right now.
I'm also Medusa.
You got-
It doesn't matter. I'm bigger than you. I'm PMSing. I'm upset.
PMSing. I'm Medusa.
Oh, that is a tough
And
call.
you're
Which
in
one's
my
more fearsome?
space.
Yeah.
A dragon
So
or Medusa?
So I'm breathing my fire. I'm going crazy. I'm charging you, and then I go in to bite your head off.
Don't look at me. She's
Okay.
How many
Yeah.
dice is this, Aaron? 1, 2,
One.
5?
One.
1. Oh,
Yeah.
What do you mean?
She's playing it. She's playing it tough. I think what if I were in Aaron's shoes,
She wants all the help
I
that
would
she can
think,
get.
that would scare a goblin. But this is motherfucking Medusa.
Right?
She's not gonna be taken out by a one strike by a dragon. You're
Are
gonna
you
have to try
fucking
harder.
kidding me? I go to bite her head off. How is that not a hit?
That's a hit.
Yeah.
But
So
how much damage does it do? Does it do one per
Jesus
usual?
Christ. How many hit points does she have?
Well, that's
Oh,
secret information.
Yeah. How many hit points do I
Never
have?
reveal that.
Okay.
2.
Damn it!
2.
Like
All right.
me as a dragon is just failing.
We have to bring our A game with Aaron, just so you know.
So I'm gonna attack with my snakes.
Okay.
So I get 2 attacks.
Yeah.
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 Go for it.
So
Oh,
I get
man.
to roll
Oh man. You have to explain what you.
11.
Oh no.
Nothing.
That's a miss.
That was a miss.
Yeah.
15.
That's a hit.
That is a hit.
All right.
And then
Snake number 2 gets a solid bite.
2.
Oh, down to 2.
Uh-oh.
Now tell what happened.
Oh yeah. Do you want?
Oh, what my
give it a
snakes
little,
did?
Give it a little
Yeah.
flourish.
The
bite was so
snakes actually
crunchy.
went after that bite and tried to get in there, inside.
Oh, that's
Wait.
so gross.
yeah. Well, they're
snake
like
bit the wound?
infiltrating.
Oh no.
But it didn't realize that its head's too big for my little wound. maybe.
No, the wound was definitely big enough. I mean,
It's only 2 hit points. How could you be?
well, only a few of the snakes got in there.
A few. There's only 2.
Oh, I mean, one of them.
One of
One
them.
of them. One
I
of them
like,
got
I
it.
like how like in Aaron's head there's like a whole room
I
full
was
of snakes.
thinking there was
I
still a
actually
hole.
thought there
which
was
actually
a
is
lot more
cooler. We
snakes.
could
Yeah.
totally you could
Yeah.
you could
That's
wreck.
what I was thinking.
So
That's
what
why
you're
initially.
describing-
That's why I initially turned into a dragon because I'm like, oh my
Right.
god, there's all these snakes. I'm just gonna
I did think there were a lot more.
like around the room.
Ladies, I'm gonna let you in a little secret about playing a made up fantasy imagination game. Is you can change the playing field whenever you want, just to do something cooler.
Right. So I feel like mine was cooler.
I love it. We're going with that now.
You can't create more now. We are down to these 2. We have these 2.
Well,
snakes.
like functionally, there's
Yes.
still like 2 snakes that you would have to defeat in order to get rid of them, right?
Exactly.
I think that's.
yeah.
But like,
Okay.
but like in our mind's eye, it's like, oh, that's a.
So now are
room
you a
full of
person again?
snakes.
Yes. Yeah. It.
You're Reveticka.
The bite that I got 2 fucking hit points, which by the way I'm only down to 2 more hit points, is now pushed me back into my elf druid self. And
What's she gonna do?
I had this floppy arm. My right arm is just like just kind of flapping as I like turn really fast. My arm kind of flies in the air, and I'm like, you know what? Let me just stick to what I know. And shit, there's 2 snakes still. You know what? I can handle the snakes. It's Medusa that.
I think you have to go for Medusa. I mean, she's
Yeah.
the big target. Maybe the
Because
snakes.
maybe
Maybe
the
the snakes go
die
away, right? I don't know.
when she dies, right?
I don't know.
So
It's
okay,
up to the DM.
you didn't give me any parameters here. I'm going to say a spell.
Whoa. Okay.
And, nope. It's the fun of it, Rustan. Here we go.
What have I done?
I say a spell that is basically like I say the words like I'm rubber, you're glue, whatever sticks to me comes back to you, all that. But I'm a mirror.
Oh,
And-
dang. That's a great idea.
And I'm again water boy charging it as a
As
mirror,
a mirror person
as
with a floppy
mirror,
arm.
with my flappy arm, and like that's how. So Medusa sees me as a mirror from her perspective, so she sees herself,
Classic.
which is supposed to turn her into stone.
Okay, good luck.
All right, so here's what it all boils down to. It all boils down to a die roll. There's
You know
no
what?
free
even,
lunch.
Even if I die at this point, I feel like I really fucking tried. Oh my god, a 3. How can I be so bad at rolling?
The Medusa hasn't, like I said, she hasn't lived this long being a chump.
She didn't look. She was just like, I see. She's like,
Yeah.
nope.
Seen this shit
Not
before.
looking at you. Here I am, like going, like, look at me. And she's like,
I don't see
I
you.
know better than this by now. Well, this is really fucking stupid. I bet you if I shook one more time, it'll be a big number. Nope, but 2.
Still no.
See?
Yeah, definitely. There's like some big rocks in this room, and you're a mirror.
Oh, damn. I love it.
So
it's poetic.
I'm going to throw my rock at you.
I just want you to know you're going to have 7 years of bad luck.
I'm Medusa. I don't give a shit.
She's already cursed.
Exactly.
There's not much more.
All right, here we go.
Nah.
18.
Ouchie.
That looks like a hit to me.
Okay, so, yeah. Okay.
She's rolling damage.
1.
One.
Okay.
Only
Okay.
one.
No
Okay, that's
way.
so great.
Wow,
Reveticka,
but
still
you
mirror.
were in fucking pieces all over the floor.
The one
But
she's still got 1 hit point.
Here's what happens. I am in pieces, but I float up because I'm magical. I float up and surround Medusa with all of my pieces.
Oh.
So no matter which way she looks, she sees mirror.
Right
No,
now.
but how are you going to hurt me?
You're gonna be forced to look in the mirror because I'm surrounding you. So I'm in
Yeah,
every.
but what's the mirror going to do to me?
It turns you to stone.
It's the reflecting the petrifying
Yeah.
gaze trick.
Oh,
Yeah.
Okay.
12 is just enough.
Ooh.
Just enough to what?
That's it. That would be a hit, right? In this case.
I hit
Just
you.
enough. All right,
Okay.
so
Okay.
So that's
petrifying
1.
gaze, meet mirror.
Okay.
What happens when somebody gets hit by petrifying gaze?
You turn into
You
stone.
turn into stone. Yeah.
Yeah.
So the tagline is "Made you look."
Ha! Ba-dum-bum. And that immediately, then all of the two snakes then just like.
So what happens to the snakes, DM?
Yeah,
Ultimately,
I can
you're
get
in
back.
control of that, right? Because
Yeah.
they're your enemies. So you could
And
say,
they're my snakes. My snakes, they're fine because I'm not dead technically. I'm just stone.
So you don't think that your snakes are gonna mourn you
No.
and hang out with you?
No, they're going to go after you. Becky's
All right.
dying right now.
all right, so she's
Okay.
rolling an attack roll from the snakes, and she gets a 15.
15.
And I am sorry to say, whatever this roll is,
6.
A 6.
the snakes
The
attacks.
snakes. After all that, the fucking snake. No, the one snake. One snake.
Mm-hmm.
One snake took me out.
That sounds about right.
I'm sorry, but if you
It
want,
was-
if you
it
want
was
that,
getting revenge for what you
I
did
don't
to
care.
me.
If you want that, now you're gonna have to tell exactly what happened. What did the snake do to finish me off?
What's the?
I'm already
what's the
mere
line?
piece.
The snake went around and ate up all the pieces like
Pac-Man, Pac-Man, the broken glass, just
Yeah.
like in real life.
Exactly.
And then all of
Yeah.
a sudden, as it starts to darken, this movie darkens. You just see what's his name?
Fenwick, the pile of
Fenwick,
rocks.
the piece of shit pile of rocks.
Yeah.
And you just hear this, and, you know, and then end scene.
Yep.
Well, there you did it. You DM'd your first session of
Wow.
Dungeons and Dragons. Aaron.
Do you understand
Yeah.
why
Yeah.
I like this shit?
Yeah.
This is-
I get it now.
Yeah.
This is good, silly
That was
fan.
fun.
You did a great job.
One
and like
of us.
in
one
a
of us.
moment there, yeah, in a moment there, I really like you were Medusa.
Yeah.
Like I saw that look of like you're going down, bitch.
Yeah.
Loved it.
Yeah.
Loved it.
felt
Exhilarating.
You know
it.
what? I realize that I have died. However, I went out like really fighting.
Yeah,
You
you
know?
did. Yeah, you did.
I was
Yeah.
not
It was
expecting
a
any of
good
that.
battle.
Yeah, that was cool.
Yeah.
That was cool. I did
Yeah.
that. That was
That
fun.
was fun.
This was a great idea.
Yeah, I'm
Yeah,
glad,
I
I'm
love
glad it
it.
worked.
Yeah. So now, listeners, you all know a little bit more about D&D, which I never, ever in a million years thought I would participate in D&D.
Because what did you think
But
of it?
because somehow, I don't know. I
Like-
just didn't think it was like my thing, but Rustan tricked me into it. So
It's fun, isn't it?
Yeah.
Because you get to like sit there and like think about and we have laughs all the time. You know, I
Yeah.
mean, you can imagine like when Joel's with us, he gets into all of his different accents and everything.
Oh, he really gets into character.
He gets
It's
so
beautiful.
into it, and then
Yeah.
you have Sean just be like, "I'm gonna take my gun and I'm gonna shoot them." He named his gun "bitch." Like that's like Sean. He's half paying attention the whole time.
He's in character all the time.
Yeah.
that's funny.
Yeah. Well, now that you've done this, you
Yeah.
know a little bit more
Yeah.
about me
Yeah.
that you didn't know.
Yeah.
Because
I love
it is,
it.
yeah, my hobbies are a big part of my life,
Yeah.
and I play with my friends, my kids,
Yeah.
and even more people that I barely met.
Yeah. That's very cool.
We
I
had
like it.
A lot of fun.
Yeah. Awesome. Well, I feel like now I definitely know you a little bit better. Like I feel like I've
Mission accomplished, Aaron.
known you for a long time, but this was a super fun experience.
This was really fun. It was different
Yeah.
from our usual episode, and I
Yeah.
really like that.
Yeah.
Rustin, you're gonna have to come back.
Well,
Yep.
I appreciate that, and you guys can hang out with me anytime.
Sweet.
So whether it's for a podcast or you want to invite me over to your house so that I can eat your food, also fine.
Which I love to do that too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Seriously.
Awesome.
Well, ladies, thank you very much for having me.
Thank you, Rustin.
Thank you for being here.
I feel like we need music.
Ooh,
Do
background
Rustin,
music.
Can we-
can you create music for us?
I
Like
can
with
do
your
I
mouth.
can beatbox.
Do you
Oh, perfect.
do you want?
I'm not very good at that.
That's not
Yeah,
very
yeah,
good.
Yeah, it's also like not really appropriate, right?
Do you